So you want to put an offer in, and there are multiple offers. Stay tuned on the top 10 things you need to know on how to win that bidding war. Hi, this is Joy Larson with the Joy team in the Keller Williams Greater Cleveland market. Thanks for joining us today. Today, we're talking all about you buyers and you want to purchase your home and there is a bidding war. What do you need to know? Here are the top 10 tips that you need to know, and stay tuned all the way to the end for my Joy's Hidden Gem. Let's start with the first thing. The first thing that you always hear is cash is king. It truly is. The one great thing about cash is, number one, there is no appraisal, especially when we've been really pushing the boundaries of appraisals, as well as it can close faster. So let's just say it's vacant. That owner of that house might be happy to get it gone in 2 weeks compared to waiting for a loan. But make sure, just because you're cash, that you don't lowball, because that's not going to help you at all. All right, let's go to number 2. Second thing you will want to keep in mind is get your pre-approval with a local lender. Don't go online in the middle of the night and get your pre-approval that way, because you will want to make sure to have a lender that has taken your W-2s, your pay stubs, all of that, so that you can be able to say to that seller, yes, we are definitely pre-approved, ready to go. And people are going to be checking with that lender. And if they are out of state, sometimes that can be a little red flag for people. They get nervous because they want a local lender. So having a local lender and not to be online to get it. Number 3, you do not want your purchase agreement to say subject to and your house, subject to selling your house, or subject to your house, because they don't want to see that contingency, because that's too much risk. And in this market with things selling so quickly, it's just not a great idea. So number 1, you're going to want to check to get a bridge loan. Bridge loans have come back out, so there are a few lending institutions that you can do that. You can text me and I can give you ideas on lenders for that as well, but don't put subject to a house sale. Number 4, I beg you to basically look at your pre-approval letter. So let's say your pre-approval letter is $400,000. You should be looking at a house that's $25,000 under that price, because in this market, they're going $25,000 over asking. So $375 plus 25, you're at $400. So you want to shop under, a little bit under what you truly can afford, so that you can be the best top dollar on that offer when you're in multiple offers. That's how you're going to win. And there's been so many buyers that have been squeaking to the max they can do. Well, that just doesn't look good to the seller. Number 5, I know some of you may need to sell to buy, right? Well, you are going to maybe, I know this is tough, but have a plan B. So basically sell your house first and get a short term, go on vacation, have an Airbnb, whatever, live with your parents or in-laws. You might not want that part. That might be a little tricky, but you will want to sell your house first so that you have the cash in hand and you're ready to go, and there is no contingencies on the sale of your house. Number 6, you may want to waive some contingencies. This is something that I know I have been doing lately, and you might want to try it. So instead of just waiving home inspections, unless you are a home inspector going into the house, I don't recommend waiving that, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. But you can say inspections are for buyer's purposes only. That's sort of like an as is. So you're not going to be asking for the world at inspection time. And that might look good to the seller. So that's just a little trick I've been doing. Number 7, Make sure that you have no concessions. Don't ask for buyer's closing costs. That used to be a thing where we were always asking for the seller to pay the buyer's closing costs, because yes, you do have buyer's closing costs that you're going to have to pay. The seller has their own closing costs they have to pay, and the buyers have their closing costs they're going to have to pay. Do not ask the seller to pay for any of your buyer's closing costs, especially in a seller's market. You're not going to win. They're going to throw that out. If you truly need to have it, you can bump up the price of the home and ask for those concessions so it equals the same to the seller, but I recommend just do not have that at all. Number 8, one of the things that I have been seeing a lot of people do is normally in the Cleveland area, it's about $1,000 for earnest money. And earnest money basically is saying that you want this house and you deposit that earnest money to the title company. And basically, you can put in $2,500 instead of that $1,000 to show that you really mean business. And sometimes that might make you look, if they're equal playing field and it's the same prices and everything, they'll look at that and you're putting more down, which means for earnest money, which means you are totally serious about their house. Number 9. Make sure to find out what closing dates that the seller needs. Do they want to close quickly? Do they want to close later? A lot I have been seeing, and it is March, right, 2021 right now, a lot are wanting a June closing date when school is done and all of that, and summer has begun. Find out what the seller wants in terms of dates. Do they want a rent back? Do they want any of that? Keep that all in mind when you are putting your offer in so that you look the best when you are in those multiple offers. And last but not least, number 10, in this market, all the sellers seem to be having video cameras and video surveillance, and they can hear you. The Ring doorbell systems, they can hear you guys. So make sure, and you're being watched, so make sure what you do, what you say, that you're saying great things about the house, because they might be hearing you. And if you're saying all this negative stuff, they might not want to work with you. So when you walk through their threshold, you're in their domain. So make sure to only say those things that you want them to hear. And also don't talk about prices while you're in that house as well. All right, you stay tuned all the way to the end. Here is my bonus tip, my hidden gem. There are what's called escalation clauses. So what we've been doing, and now sometimes sellers do not want to see escalation clauses, but a lot of times they don't care. So you can ask, I recommend to go like $5,000 over the asking price, and then we do an escalation clause up to your comfort level. Now remember, you want to look a little bit below your price point so that you can escalate 5, 10, 15, 20,000 over asking, because in the bottom line is they're gonna look at what top dollar they can get and what concessions are you asking for. Are you not asking for much at all? You wanna look the best when it comes to this. Anyway, I hope all those tips help, and we'll see you next time.